Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you, everyone, to our pivot in October. Today is October 3rd, and we have so many goodies, good news ready for you.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Bendy. Thank you for joining us in today's call. It was very interesting, the last one we did last month, where we actually talk about the journey of an angel investor. And in this case, the journey of an angel philanthropy investor. So, what happened is that last month, as you noticed, we've been going into a different evolution into the company. And I was basically looking to take the company to the level it deserves because it's not for me, it's not for our employees, it is for the planet. It's not even for you, it is for the planet. The vision of philanthropy investors, it was designed from the first day to restore life essentials worldwide. So some ingredient was missing from the day number one. And that ingredient was the educational part. So you can understand what really it takes. What is it that will take in order to see the life essentials being restored? Can you imagine, like, we go in every city in the world and we know that we are breathing pure air? Or can you imagine that you know for sure that the water that comes through the system to your home is exactly in the condition that it was when you were like 5 years old or even before you were born, that the quality of the tap water was that we can open the water from there and just drink from it? Can you imagine the food that we eat, that all the land worldwide, it has an space, and we know that it comes through the lines of the supermarkets and the stores and the Costco's of the world? It's like super healthy. Well, that's basically part of the vision for philanthropy investors. It's it's basically that world where it's an ideal space across all the life essentials, because that are the mechanics that need to occur for you to enjoy life in every area of it, which is life essentials. So I realized that there was a missing ingredient, and that missing ingredient was deeply education on the different life essentials and a very deep understanding on the financial world, because the finances are the energy that we are going to direct to the life essentials instead of going to a non-life essential or non-survival area of the planet. Like, you may notice that there is a lot, right? Like guns and wars and gambling and a lot of stuff, that the money can be going to be the better areas in the world and we will all be in better shape. So that education point was missing. And I started, looking in my universe, and through different things that were happening one step and sequence after another one, I have a very good friend of mine who saw that, for a temporary and for a situation that we had, our former CEO, Mr. Sky Logan, needed to step down. So he saw that, and he reached out to me and says, Ivan, I am interested in becoming the CEO for philanthropy investors. And I say, wow, that will be very interesting, because this friend, not only one of my best friends for the last 3, 4 years, is there not only on the good moments but also in the bad moments. And he's, he has his radars. Like the good friends have, like they always have you in your radars, and you always have good friends in your radar, like to make sure that they are doing well, and you have them in your mind. I think I am the best person to take this to another level. And not only that, but he's been 14 years successfully running wealth education company. So we start chatting and say, okay, the best thing to happen is just to combine the world, is to combine all the universe that you've been creating for 14 years with all the members of the company, which is called Well Dynamics, and combine efforts and just go to another level, which was something I was cooking for the last year. And I did some surveys on it and so on, which I call the philanthropy world. And so we said, okay, let's go to another level, because the whole promise, that the philanthropy investors world wanted to create is for the members to be able to be more and to be able to do good. So be more and do good, and be more and do good. Because if you are more, you can do more good. And when you are do more good, you become more. So it was something I call the virtuous circle. And there is in my entire universe of, of people I know, like was not the better qualified person that my friend Jerry Fetta to take over the game and take it to another level. So let me introduce you guys to not only the new CEO for what we call Philantro Wealth with the Philantro World. Philantro Wealth LLC is the company because we want to create wealth philanthropists, but my one of my best friends, Mr. Jerry Feta.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that introduction, Ivan. It's great to see everyone here today. One of the things I always like to do is we are in a philanthro world. So I'd love to have you drop in the chat where you're watching from, what part of the world, what part of the country, just so I can understand better where people are at in the philanthro world. So if you guys can drop that in the chat, that would be amazing. And yeah, guys, so I want to introduce myself as the new CEO of Philanthro Wealth. And so we kind of have two different groups that are on this call right now. Those that are very familiar already with philanthro investors, maybe you're already a philanthro investor. And we have those that are part of, my company, Wealth Dynamics, members that are joining in and kind of learning about the merger. So we do have, the full umbrella of the companies now is Philanthro Wealth, and it's going to be the training and the education and the coaching, which I provide with what I built with Wealth Dynamics, and then all of the great opportunities that Philanthro Investors provides on things like investing as a water philanthro investor, or a housing philanthro investor, or being an environmental philanthro investor. We're going to be expanding that out. The main mission of our focus with this is really to create a network of wealthy philanthropists who do create wealth, and they also help us restore life essentials worldwide and promote human welfare, right? And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. I see in the chat we've got Brian from Cleveland, Ohio. But today we've got some very exciting updates, right? Now, before I get into some of these, I want to really go over, the purpose and intention of today's meeting. These pivot calls are, number one, to update on the progress of some of our different ventures that we're working with, right? And so you're going to hear from some of our strategic partners in the philanthro world, some of our philanthropreneurs, as we call them, which is a philanthropic entrepreneur, and you're really hearing updates on what they're doing with the various companies and ventures. Okay. I want to also give an intro on what some of those different companies and ventures are and who some of the founders are. Right. And before I do that, my background, started in financial advising. And so I was a financial advisor with your normal stocks and bonds and mutual funds and retirement planning for a very long time. And I started to get into what I call alternative investing. Right. And I started studying the wealthy. I started studying the top 1%. And I started to notice that they weren't necessarily doing all the normal things. Right. There's a lot of stuff we're told we're supposed to do with finances. When I studied the historical top 1%, I started to realize, wait a second, they're not doing those things. And so it's kind of one of those, do as I say, not as I do type of mentalities. And I was observing this and I was like, well, I really want to do what the wealthy are doing, not what I'm being told I should do. Like if they're doing something different, I want to know about it and I want to be able to do it as well. Right. And that was kind of my whole journey on starting to learn about finances and investing more in the alternative sense. Okay. Now, one of the things that I loved is when I started to get into that world, I very quickly met Ivan. I very quickly met philanthro investors. I very quickly started to get involved in that side. And what was refreshing for me as someone that's been in the financial industry is there's a consideration for, are we making the world a better place? Right. And that's not always true when we look at banks and we look at Wall Street and we look at the financial institutions. That's not always the focus. Right. And I can remember sitting down as a younger financial advisor when I just got into this industry of money and finance, and sitting down and showing someone a portfolio. And I remember at a time where they sat down and they said, hey, this company, it makes good returns, but it's supporting things we're not okay with. It's supporting war, it's supporting, pharmaceuticals or whatever it might be that wasn't, it wasn't aligned with their core values. Right. And one of the problems that particularly individuals suffer from when it comes to finances is when you don't have your values and your money aligned, It creates a life you're trying to escape from. And I want you to think about this as I'm going through some of our updates today, right? If you've ever worked at a job you didn't like, what was your mentality? You're just in it for the paycheck and you can't wait to be done, right? Because you're not really enthusiastic and passionate about what's happening. Okay. So we try and solve that with investing. Don't we? We say, okay, we're going to invest, we're going to put money into a venture or a business or an investment, it's going to pay us. And that way we can escape from this environment of trading our time for money while doing something that we're not passionate about, that's not aligned with our purposes. However, if we try and solve that problem by taking the money we earned and investing that then in ventures that don't align with our purposes, it's the same misalignment of money and purpose. So one of the core values of being part of this philanthro world with us as a philanthro investor is to align your money with your purpose. And when you align your money with your purpose, not only can you receive a financial return, not only can you involve yourself in opportunities, but you actually make a positive impact. You do restore the life essentials. You do promote human welfare. Okay, so I want to go into that and just have that at the top of your mind as we do our updates today. And we have a lot of really good answers here. We've got, let's see where we got some people from Concord, California. We've got Georgia, Colorado, Minnesota. Good to see you guys. We've got North Carolina, Atlanta. We've got France. We've got Vegas, Hawaii, Texas. Awesome. Awesome. We've got people from all over. It really is a philanthro world. So without further ado, guys, what I want to do is I want to quickly introduce some of the companies. The first one that we're going to jump into is, I believe it's going to be the water philanthro investing first. And guys, I grew up in Alaska. In Alaska, we have no shortage of fresh water. We have mountains and glaciers and creeks and rivers. Not everyone has that, right? And so there's some statistics that you're going to hear, as we go through the video here on the water philanthro investing on just what it is. But did you know that 6,000 children die per day from water-related diseases? Not per week, not per year, that's per day, right? More people die from water-related diseases than die from war, right? And so I want you to think about, when you think of this word life essential, what is the definition of something that's essential? You can't live without it, right? And water is definitely one of those things. So I want to go ahead and plug in the quick intro video here from Origin Clear, our water philanthro investing company.
Hi, I'm Riggs Eccleberry, and if you're like me, you are dealing with a portfolio problem. The markets are not happy, they're getting worse, and going to cash is okay, except that cash itself is losing its value by the day. What do you do, right? I guess tough it out? Yeah, that'll work out over time, but meanwhile, the spouse isn't very happy, right? So, what do you do? One of the ways to deal with this is to invest in something that is just new, a strong, vital asset that is just beginning to make its run. An asset that has been coming out of a government monopoly and is now being done more and more by businesses. And this is called decentralized water, where businesses do their own water treatment, right? And, a lot of people are doing this, some pretty big players like JP Morgan Capital, and they're doing very well. Believe me. So how can you participate? Well, my company is the only one that enables everyday investors like you and me to actually participate in the profits, the annuities from these water projects. And they're set up, basically on a pay per gallon basis, just so the business is basically paying the way they're accustomed to paying the city, but they're paying our program, which is called Water on Demand. And you as an investor participate. Now, it's great because, first of all, there's some royalties. There's a measure of protection by the fact you can enforce the royalties with the water assets that's built right in. There's also some amazing benefits in terms of stock, early stock that is potentially valuable. All these good things are stuff that you should discuss with my co-founder, Ken Berenger, and he will tell you exactly how it can work, and he will show you how your portfolio is here, water on demand is here, and all of a sudden, things are potentially very good. So this is worth doing. I really feel that you have the potential to right-size your portfolio. I kind of think of it as, Apple 1984, right? It's like so early and so powerful that it can deliver some amazing upside for you and your family. So with that, I recommend you contact Ken. All you got to do to schedule with him is in your browser, put oc.gold/Ken. schedule with him. I think that it's going to be very, very good. And I wish you the very best in this economy. We all deserve to do well. Thank you.
All right, so that's a little bit from Riggs Eckleberry, our water philanthropreneur with Origin Clear. I do want to acknowledge a few water philanthropy investors that are on the call today. So David Ballard, Felicia Fro, David Weingard, Marlon Mueller, Carla Olivares. Good to see you guys on here today. You guys are water philanthropy investors, so thank you for your support there. And we have a quick update video from Riggs Eckleberry on how it's going with Origin Clear, and we're going to go ahead and show that next.
Hi, Riggs Eckleberry here, once again with Origin Clear with an update just for the pivot meeting. It's such a pleasure to be talking to you again. All right, so what's going on in the world of Origin Clear and especially our water on demand merger? Well, as you know, I cannot say very much about the merger since it is considered to be a very privileged matter, but I can tell you that we did submit our third amendment to the merger agreement. You can go on the SEC site and look up the ticker symbol FRLA, and you will see that there. So all amendments come to an end someday, what I can say. And the fact is that we are doing well with these responses to the SEC, and we expect things to go fine. So that's where we're at on the merger. Fine company. All right. So otherwise, we are doing a major grand opening of our new Sherman, Texas location of Progressive Water Treatment. We will have media there. We will have, I will be there, and we'll be doing a big ribbon cutting. And that will be very cool because it's massively larger and it's a great center of operations for Progressive Water Treatment after many, many years. Also, Progressive has just acquired yet another 2 major power plant customers. And so they are really doing really well with the large power plant customer business. As you recall, Progressive is about customized large installations. Meanwhile, on the modular water side, they continue to be getting, I'm told that they have now exceeded $22 million in quoted business, and about $6.5 million of it is guaranteed to be modular water because it's considered what's called basis of design. So that's, and we expect that number to increase. So they are getting a lot of new business, and especially excited about the business in pump stations. Now, pump stations are the vital connectors of water lines, sewage lines or freshwater lines. And they're connectors when you have to change altitude. You have to go up or down, change altitude. You have to have a pump station. And they leak. The ones that are built leak because they're made of concrete or other materials, whereas our pump stations are made of a very long-lasting, durable polyethylene material. So we're getting a lot of business there, and we are expecting to be getting many, many more. Also, we'll be covering the story about how Modular Water Systems provides water treatment for all the U.S. embassies in the world. This is a very little known story, but we'll be telling more of it. And we think that's super cool. And why? Because it's very simple. It's built completely in the U.S., and all it has to do is shipped and dropped in place, plugged in, and it runs. No local contractors, no issues with installation, etc. And so that's very exciting for our continuing business. And we're really getting a reputation for this kind of instant on kind of system. Many, many more announcements coming. Also, we continue to work on mergers and acquisitions for Water on Demand Inc. Bill Charneski is at a site right now negotiating a letter of intent, and we expect within a month or so to have, in addition to the one we have already with Plastic Welding and Fabrication Inc., 2 more, and that'll give us 3 preliminary agreements. Of course, they're not guaranteed, but they're preliminary agreements to merge, and that brings these companies in just as soon as that merger is done. So those are just a few of the updates of what's going on. we continue to be pushing hard to get water on demand onto the NASDAQ. Why? Well, it's very simple. Once you're on the NASDAQ, you have access to institutional funding. Let me give you an example. Water on demand is essentially a lot like what's called a solar power purchase agreement, right? In a solar PPA, the solar panel manufacturer puts the system on site, but continues to own it, and then the homeowner the homeowner or the business pays the solar panel manufacturer a monthly fee, and it's less than what they would normally pay the power company, and that way everybody wins. Well, what is good about that is that the power panel manufacturer can finance those installations by showing a finance company a signed 20 or 30-year contract with a strong credit-worthy customer. And that strong credit-worthy customer is the basis for financing the equipment. And the financing is relatively inexpensive. And whereas currently we raise money from regular investors and we appreciate it, that's not going to work for hundreds of millions of dollars. And so it's very, very important to scale up the company using I call water purchase agreements to dramatically increase the number of modular systems out there that the customer does not have to pay for upfront. So that gives you an idea of what's going on and why it's so important that we complete this merger. As I say, it's on track and going well. And I especially want to thank everyone who's supported us to date. We know who you are. You're amazing. Thanks again. And until next month, I wish you a happy Halloween for those of you who celebrate it. And other than that, let's have a great end of year, okay? Thank you so much.
All right, guys. So that was Riggs Eckleberry. He is our philanthropreneur for Water Philanthro Investing. And I just wanted to say as a comment on that, and I don't know if you guys are able to show your hands on the virtual thing. Who else feels refreshed seeing the actual face of a company that you're supporting with your investment? Right? For me, again, coming from the institutional world, you don't know who runs these companies. You don't know who's, inside of a mutual fund, there might be 100 different companies. And I don't know who the CEO is. I don't know who the founder is. I don't know who the managers are. So for me, it's very refreshing to see, the founder, the person who really has the idea, the vision, and is really making it come true. Especially with something as vital as water. So that's a little bit from Briggs Eckleberry, a great update there. Next, we're going to jump into health philanthro investing. Now, a really quick statistic here that I want to share with you guys and a story as well, right? So with health philanthro investing, the stat that I want to share is that 84% of chronic illnesses could have been prevented. Okay, 84% of chronic illnesses could have been prevented. I don't know if you saw when you logged in, there was a video playing of me sharing a little bit of my backstory. When I first became a financial advisor, my mom was my very first client, right? And so shout out and love to all of the supportive moms out there. And we did the retirement planning. We did the nest egg of building up the retirement account. She had the pension. We sold the house. It was paid off. She had everything going. And she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer at age 60. For those of you that understand how retirement works, age 59 and a half is when you can start taking withdrawals out of your retirement accounts. And so to be diagnosed with stage 4 cancer at age 60, really kind of throws a wrench in that plan. And so she passed away, within about 6 months. And so for me, when it comes to the topic of health, that's something that's very near and dear to my heart, right? And so the company that we work with is called Fios, and we're going to share a quick introduction from David, the philanthropreneur and founder behind Fios, just so you can learn a little bit more about what Fios is, and then we're going to get an update as well. So we'll go ahead and play the initial intro video here for Fios Health.
I'm one of 4 of our co-founders, and what we have built and designed in research and development over the last 3 years is really a reimagine of personalized healthcare. And in so doing, we started looking at some of the current, what we find both biotechnology and technology challenges, and then also experiential challenges, right? So nobody likes going to a doctor's office, even if it's a really nice doctor's office, concierge doctor's office, Forward Health. It takes on average 3 hours out of your day. we looked at that as one of our North Stars, and we said, okay, what if we were able to deliver the most advanced diagnostic platform in the world, that being blood work, genes, vitals, molecular microbiome, personal environmental, age, weight. So what you would get in a traditional 2-day physical for $25,000 to $50,000 at places like the Mayo Clinic or Health Nucleus, if we could deliver that package for an order of magnitude less cost in your living room in 15 minutes. So that's what we set out to do, and we have been able to accomplish that goal. But more or less, we took my other co-founders were running the biotech and genomics practice for Harvard and MIT at the time. And then a dual artificial intelligence engine that we brought out of the Defense Department, DARPA, and MIT. And so we combined all of these to do a proprietary genomic screening, molecular biochem, which is blood, urine, biomarkers, molecular microbiome, and then your personal environmental. What do you do every day? How do you eat? How much you drink? How old are you? What's your ethnic background? And finally, what's your family health history? What have you looked like over the past 3 to 4 generations? And so we combine that data set that we collect in 15 minutes in your home or office. It's similar to ordering an Uber. You pull out our mobile platform. One of our phlebotomists comes to your home or office, collects all of your data. They go about their day. You go about your day. That's then going to go to our centralized lab for processing, as it would if you go to a clinic anyway. And 5 days later, you have your AI analyzed data and your raw data, and then we loop in a precision physician who is going to work with you on your health goals. Now, we've designed our protocol specifically to target what we call the top 10, which are the top 10 disease conditions. These cover 84% of all chronic illness and death. So in other words, in the United States today, if you're going to get chronically ill and eventually die, you have an 84% chance that it's from one of these 10 things. So we're talking heart disease, cancer, stroke, Alzheimer's, diabetes, kidney, liver, mental health, and suicide we cover, which is very unfortunate. So we package all of that together, and we've got a proprietary diagnostic platform that looks at all of that. And then we have an incredible technology and data stack that does the analysis. And then following this 5-day period, we also have a forward-facing health user interface that looks at, okay, now that we have a really in-depth picture of your personal health, how do we help you make it better through diet, through exercise? And we essentially have figured out a way to turn each city into our members, our customers' personal health club that then cross-references with their hardcore bio data.
So that's a little bit about FiOS. I love the idea of that preventative healthcare and actually taking into consideration your body's vitals and genome testing and all of this type of stuff to put together a preventative plan, right? And I think that prevention is one of the keys behind health. So that's really good. David, he was not able to make it today. He really wished he could be here, and he wanted to say hi to everybody. So right now, a quick update with FiOS. So they are beginning clinical tests with families that have at least 3 generations of, genetic history. And what that does is it allows them to look at, genome testing, DNA testing, and really look at, several generations back to then back test, what's going on there, and then what's the accuracy of the program on the front end of, okay, these are the results that are being displayed. These are the recommendations that are being given. So that's a little update there from FiOS with our health philanthro investing. And next up, I believe, is going to be housing philanthro investing with a quick update and a quick introduction video from Equity and Health.
Do you want to help families while creating a potential cash flow of 8 to 12%? Are you looking for a clear investment with clear results? Do you want to leave a legacy for your family and future generations? If so, here is the information you need to know. In the 1940s, the average American home cost $3,000, $30,000 in today's dollar. In the decades from the 1940s to the 1970s, the cost of a home rose in line with earnings. That meant a home had the same relative value in 1941 as in 1971. But from the 1970s onwards, the relative cost of residential property skyrocketed. To keep their dreams alive, homeowners took on mortgage debt of historic size, and to this day, many are now experiencing a loan repayment crisis, and foreclosures are growing. But there is an opportunity right now to build a stable foothold in residential real estate. Many who are involved in housing complain about the headaches that accompany investing as a real estate landlord. Renovation, maintenance, and tenant services are far from simple. Many landlords had simply given up. At Equity and Help, we built a unique business opportunity. We created a turnkey, profitable business that makes a difference in people's lives. Housing philanthro investing is our turnkey business. Philanthro investing is a very effective way to invest with a purpose. Philanthro investing can achieve a consistent 8 to 12% return, and you remain in the driver's seat. Here's how. 1. We research, select, and buy foreclosed homes across the United States. 2. We do the work needed to return the home to a sellable state. 3. As a philanthro investor, you review the homes available and purchase a minimum package of 3 homes for approximately $135,000. You're purchasing them at far below after repair value. You have now become the CEO of your housing portfolio. 4. We select and qualify working-class families desirous of ownership. Those qualify become residents of your properties. 5. You receive a $1,000 down payment from each family. 6. You are now the lender and finance the balance at a 12% interest rate for 20 years. 7. They pay their real estate taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs. 8. We connect with the residents of your home regularly and maintain a relationship with each family. You get regular information as they establish their home. 9. You get a detailed monthly report on the growing value of your philanthro investment. 10. We charge nominal fees at each stage of the process. You remain 100% in charge of your turnkey business. Your capital grows and you enjoy a stable cash flow. You'll also enjoy heartwarming news about families' progress and enjoying anonymity as a buffer between you and the home buyers. You decide how to grow your business, helping families on their path to home ownership. Your philanthro investment will help children and their families all across the USA. Children of homeowners perform better in school. Children of homeowners have lower rates of drug use and criminality. Homeowners invest in their local community by volunteering for civic projects. Homeowners also historically report a greater sense of self-control and self-worth. In essence, you make a difference, and you make money while doing it. Speak to a housing philanthro investing consultant today. Improve your life while improving the lives of children, families, and communities.
Awesome. Amazing update from our team at Equity and Help on that intro video. So I've got some things to share on Equity and Help on their update. So right now, there's a couple of cool things that happen. First, I want to share some statistics from the last quarterly performance results that came out quarter 2 of 2024. You may have heard these already. If not, this will be the first time. So basically, for the last quarterly results that came in from Equity and Help for our housing philanthro investors, the average equity gain on a property was 23.54%. That was at the end of quarter 2 of 2024. And so that's the difference between, what you're buying the home for versus what it's being sold to. And that's an immediate gain that a philanthro investor gets on, the value of that note on the mortgage versus the value of the property that's been acquired. So that's very nice. The average cash on cash return was 11.38%. And so that's the yield or the income that's being paid out on average in the portfolio. And now here's a very cool number. We've got over 700 homes recovered, over $73 million worth of assets there. And, the average investor price was just shy of 55,000. And we've had a very, very good quarter. We've got some great updates that I want to share with you as well from Equity and Help. So right now, they're working on developing software for what's called the Zero Risk Fund. And the Zero Risk Fund is a operation which is going to cover investors' payments when families don't pay, right? And so I'm a housing philanthro investor myself. That does mean that you're kind of in the mortgage housing business, if you will. And so if you're thinking like a bank, a bank that does, mortgages and housing, there are going to be people who are late. There's going to be your defaults. There's all of those normal types of things that go with this. In the traditional financing world, there's what's called private mortgage insurance, which is something that's paid that if the person living there doesn't cover the mortgage, the bank still gets their income, right? And so the Zero Risk Fund is mimicking something similar to this, where it does cover the investor's family or the investor's payments if the family doesn't pay. The other thing that's very exciting is the implementation of a new tailor-made software for receiving payments from families. So that's going to streamline operations there. And then there's been a brand new website that has been released as well. And so we're going to share that just so you guys can see the new website and some of the information that's on there. And for those that want to follow along, you can go to equityandhelp.com. And the first thing you'll see here is there are, immediate statistics. So if you're, an ambassador in the philanthro world and you're wanting to maybe share this concept with those that you can immediately show, the total performance results on the properties, right? So that's right there on the homepage. If we scroll down a little bit, it does get into some information on, how the program works, some of the basics on the process as well. We've got some testimonials from investors on there. And then a really nice visual flow of what the selection and investment process looks like, right? And so that's going to give, immediate information on what steps need to happen, followed by some real life testimonials of those that are philanthro investors in the equity and help world. So that's going to be the new website. That's been a big project. That's a great update to complete. And then again, the Zero Risk Fund is a huge game changer, right? I don't know of any other turnkey seller finance real estate program at all, period, other than Equity and Help that really is known and doing well. But above and beyond that, to have one that is putting together a zero risk fund that mimics private mortgage insurance, that's another big game changer from Equity and Help. So last but not least on our life essentials is Z-Loop. So we're going to do a quick introduction video from Z-Loop.
The ocean. Can you remember the last time you heard my voice? Can you remember the last time I brought you peace by looking at me? Please listen to me now, because what I have to tell you is very important. I am the heart of our planet. All life depends on me. I occupy 72% of the entire surface of the Earth. 97% of the water on our planet belongs to me. But I am not just water. Under my surface lives the most extraordinary biodiversity on Earth. I generate more than half of the oxygen we need to breathe. I also share the responsibility for regulating the planet's climate. I absorb carbon dioxide to keep temperatures in balance, and I'm the primary source of protein for millions of people in the world. That's why I need you. That's why I need your help. Plastic is everywhere, even on uninhabited beaches. I have plastic islands. I have one in the Pacific, which comprises the same area as Spain, France, and Germany combined. Scientists estimate that one garbage truck per minute is dumped into the sea. These dumpings are filled with old tires, fishing nets, bottles, and worse. They generate microplastics, putting all life at risk. According to the United Nations, by 2050, there will be more plastic than fish in my waters. If every person listening to me now takes action, that prediction can be changed. I've spoken with my sister, the forest, and she's experiencing the same problems. She too is very concerned. Brother, she said, I thought human beings were our friends. We provide so much for them. Why are they treating us like that? She questioned me. I told her, Forrest, they don't know the negative effect they're creating. We have to speak up. We have to let them know. I promise you, I will speak out. I will do something about it. And that is why, my friends, I need you to heed this call. I need you to hear me well. Every decision to help I can get, every offer to do something about it helps. We must have an ocean with more beauty, less waste. Will you be my friend? I need so many, many great friends. It's not too late, but it is urgent. Are you ready to start now? Because there is a solution, a way you can help immediately. I've been shouting this message of the need for the past 10 years, but too few have listened with their heart. Some actually have heard the need. Some who don't even have any money donate their time and energy. Some invest, they call themselves philanthro investors, and they're doing well by doing good. I'm so happy I found these amazing people. Some call themselves Zilupians, using an app that's revolutionizing the planet, and they are a force for good. I need much more help, but we are moving in the right direction. Soon, I will be able to breathe easily again. Please consider this a special invitation for you to join them. Please. Thank you. The ocean.
Really compelling video there. And on that note, I want to share some statistics with you guys from Zloop regarding plastic. And I don't know if you knew this. So some of the stats here are 100,000 marine animals died every 12 months from plastic. Okay, 88% of the ocean's surface is polluted by plastic waste. There's over 5.25 trillion pieces of plastic currently in our oceans. That's 168,125 tons per square kilometer. And 33% of all fish caught now contain plastic, right? So this is something, before we do the update, really quickly, if everyone could take out their phone, right? Let me know in the Q&A when you have your phone out. And I want you to go to your app store and I want you to type in the phrase Zloop, Z-E-L-O-O-P. Okay, and when you type in the phrase Zloop, you're going to see there's an app called Zloop. And if you download that app, that's going to give you the ability to actually start participating, whether as a philanthro investor where you want to be involved from an investment standpoint or from a time standpoint, right? And I can give you an example of this. Me and my son, Sammy, we downloaded the Zloop app and we were in Florida about a year ago. And we went to the beach one day and it was covered with bottles, bags, plastic, just crazy things you would never think should be on a beach, right? Definitely not fish and sea life. Okay, and so what we did is we downloaded the Zloop app and we went into, one of their programs and we just started picking up. We started cleaning it up. We started putting it in bags. We tagged a recycling location on the app, which you can do right there. You can find a recycling location and we dropped it off at the recycling location, right? So everybody that's here that has a phone, you're able to do something about this by just downloading the app and starting to get involved on that basis. And of course, you can always become an environmental philanthro investor. With that being said, we do have a quick update video from Eric, the philanthropreneur and founder behind Zloop. We're going to share that now.
Hey, this is Eric Schaffner, CEO of Zloop. I wanted to say hello to all of you, philanthro investors, partners, ambassadors, and other family members. We are growing on our plastic program with good traction. We have welcomed our first green entrepreneurs who contributed to the recovery of over 7 tons of plastic waste in Argentina, and that will continue. We have also signed a partnership with Nielsen Recycling in Tunisia. They produce recycling equipment that we can integrate in our new Zloop aggregator model that is designed to extend the reach of recyclers with a network of super users of Zloop app. We are currently testing that model in Nigeria with one of the financial ambassador emulating them. So if you want to act also on the ground, you can use obviously Zloop app, where you can collect used plastic bottle or just simply collect trash and be rewarded with our native token. If you have no time to do that, we will remediate for you, collecting a lot of plastic and bringing that back to recycling in our operation in Argentina. And for that, we just have to purchase some certificates that we provide in form of NFTs. So thanks a lot. Have a great time on this pivot session.
All right, guys. So that's a great update from Eric, our founder and philanthropist behind Zloop. Those are all of the Life Essentials updates. I do want to close out with a couple of things, right? So for those of you that are on the webinar today, if you're watching live, even if you're watching the replay, I want you to take a moment and I want you to imagine a world where you achieve all of your financial goals, right? You're investing, your debt's handled, you've got passive income, you've got real financial freedom. Okay, but I want you to imagine now that that world has water that's not drinkable, air that's not breathable. You don't have any friends because they have diseases and they can't afford, they don't have the health or the finances to be there with you enjoying financial freedom. We have, a problem with the environment we live in being livable, yet we have all of our financial goals figured out. If you're like me, you're thinking that that's not going to be a very fun world to live in. And so it's one thing to achieve, financial wealth, but it's another thing to achieve financial wealth in an environment where we can actually enjoy it, where we can travel and see beautiful beaches with pristine water, and we can be in forests that aren't full of trash, right? And we can actually look around our neighborhoods and see, thriving families with roofs over their heads and stability, low crime neighborhoods, right? And we have the ability to say, okay, great, we're doing better for the world, because that's what it means to be part of this philanthro world that we're creating. It is not just about retirement. It is not just about my personal net worth. It is not just about the amount of passive income I have. Because the truth is the money loses value every single year, doesn't it? Every year, it's going down in value. We've not had a single society on this planet that still exists today where the currency is still used. It doesn't remain. But what does remain is the world we leave behind and the condition that we leave it in. And I think that that's the most important legacy that there is. When I think of my own son, I don't think about leaving him with full pockets. I think about leaving him obviously with the knowledge and ability to succeed in life, but also in a life that's worth succeeding in, because the life essentials are there and human welfare has been promoted. So what I want to end on this, guys, is something can be done about this. And I want to acknowledge every single one of you that's here today, because you're contributing to that effort. This goes beyond money. It's all about, being more and doing good, because we are investing better. We can all do better. And I don't just mean that from a financial standpoint. I mean with the results that we're creating. So I do want to just transition into a quick update, guys. We do have, a number of new things with Philanthro Wealth. That's the whole brand of this merger. So my company, Wealth Dynamics, basically got married with Ivan's company, Philanthro Investors. Instead of taking each other's last name, we took each other's first name. So it's Philanthro Wealth. And that's going to be including, Philanthro Investing. It's going to have a lot of other aspects to it. One of the very cool things that we've added to this that I want to share with you is my initial company. When we started, it was all about financial training and coaching. Okay, I grew up in a very low income family. We struggled financially when I was 9 years old. All in the same summer, my mom and dad got divorced. We lost our house. The car got repoed, and I was homeless on both sides of the family. Right? It sounds like a bad country song, but that's what I experienced. And I didn't know about money. So if somebody would have approached me at the age of 18 and said, Jerry, do you want to be a philanthro investor? I would have said, A, what's that? And I would have said, B, I don't think I'm qualified. I don't know how to do that. I don't have the means. I don't have the training. I don't even know how the basics of money work, let alone investing. So a lot of what we're doing in the philanthro investing world, particularly when we get into angel investing, which is investing in the seed of an idea and helping it really grow and expand, We get into things like private equity. We get into things where we're investing in companies that are maybe not publicly traded yet, or maybe they're privately owned and we're helping them grow as well. Some of those require us to be what's called an accredited investor. Okay. And so for those of you that don't know, an accredited investor, it means one of two things. It means you have a net worth of $1 million or higher. That excludes your primary residence. And the other thing it could mean is that you earn, if you're single, at least $200,000 per year in taxable income for 2 years in a row, or $300,000 per year in taxable income if you're married for 2 years in a row. So if you're there, you can jump in on pretty much everything in the philanthro world. If you're not there, then that's where I started. I wasn't there. I had to figure out how to get there. And so part of what we offer now is training, coaching, and education to help you get there. Because there's a lot of financial institutions out there that are going to say, hey, unless you have a net worth of this high or you've got this much money, we're not going to work with you. We don't need more of those. If it wasn't for somebody teaching me these things, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And so part of what Philanthro Wealth is going to be doing is we are going to be offering training and coaching to help you get there. And if you're already there, to help you make even more progress. Right. So for those of you that are interested in this, I want to make sure this is not salesy. So I don't want to have you guys feel the wrong idea there. But I do want to share a link if you want to learn a little bit more about the training and coaching and some of the things that we can help you with on your journey. I'm going to share a quick QR code, and you can access a link to download a free copy or get a free copy of my book, Blueprint to Financial Freedom, shipped out to you. So if you want to scan the QR code, you can also go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo. And you can grab a copy of this book, Blueprint to Financial Freedom. This is basically a step-by-step guide toward achieving passive income that exceeds your savings, expenses, and taxes. One of the milestones there is becoming a philanthro investor, getting the net worth where it needs to be at, getting the investable assets where they need to be at. So if you're looking at your current financial state and position and you're saying, I would really like some help with that, the good news is with Philanthro Wealth, now we have a solution with that through the training, the coaching, and the education side of things. So I want to leave that up for a minute. The other thing too is for anybody that would like to go directly to the link, you can go to the one here on the page. It says jerryfetta.com/B2F promo. If the QR code isn't working or you don't have your phone, or you're like me and you don't always know how QR codes work, right? But you can go to the link jerryfetta.com/B2F promo. And then finally, if you have any questions on anything we covered today, right? And this can be, maybe you're interested in becoming a philanthro investor. Maybe you already are one and you would just like to get more information. Or maybe you'd like a strategy. Maybe you're watching and you're thinking, I really would like to become a philanthro investor. I'm wondering what it takes. I'm wondering what the game plan would look like. I want to invite you to reach out to Vendi, our president, to book a call with her. No obligation. Just find out, hey, what does it take to get there? Right? What do my steps look like? And what are some of the different opportunities I could be involved in at any various level you might be? Right? So if you have any questions, you can book a call with Vendi. She's placing her calendar link in the chat. You guys are free to use that and schedule a time with her. And that's all we have for today's pivot call. I want to thank each and every one of you for being on here today. I can't tell you as the new CEO of the company, how warming it is to see such a big, welcoming community here that really does care. You really want to make a difference. You really do want to promote and restore life essentials and promote human welfare. And I can tell you, as the leader of Philanthro Wealth, I'm there with you leading the charge. We will be back again next month. We'll send out the links and promotions for that. Thank you again for attending. Until next time, it's been great being with you today.